Situations we become placed in led us to become complacent. This sole decision did what most past mistakes did, one-side in the character's head, to distinguish reasons why beyond so-called little white lies. Who decides to replace pride with welfare supplies? Who decides to replace pride with welfare supplies? Is it us? Or will we never meet them because locked away behind a federal desk he or she hides? Because locked away behind a federal desk he or she hides while sending their gifts disguised with no traceable ties. Knowing we're easily controlled in tribes, but what we as blacks fail to realize is together we stand. Once divided, it's upon them we call, asking to fall, not looking amongst each other to build upon, and once again stand tall. This is breaking the cycle.
Looking out of my project window, oh, I feel unexpired. Looking out of my project window, oh, it makes me feel so tired.
Looking into a black woman's window, a woman responsible for raising her children on government income, a woman struggling for independence. Shanita Hall is a single mother who is raising 15 children in Tallahassee. Rakia Good, a 12th grade student who also resides in Tallahassee, gave birth to her now 2-year-old son when she was 16. These two women have two different stories, but they share a common factor: dependency.
The last job that I had, I was laid off. I wish I did have a job.
Their lack of employment forces them to have something in common with thousands of blacks. In 2007, more than 4,700 African Americans were out of work. Halls and Good's unemployment brings them here, welfare, for help with basic necessities like food or cash assistance, a monthly cash allowance for needy families, or supplemental security income, also known as SSI, which also provides cash assistance to individuals with disabilities.
Two of the children received SSI. I received child support for two of my children and food stamps.
Hall also received Medicaid, but says she is not eligible to receive temporary cash assistance. Good receives cash assistance for herself and 2-year-old Jaquan.
I get $100 for me and $63 for the baby. And food stamps, I get 120 something, and the baby get like 104, 105.
Although whites receive the majority of government assistance, blacks remain more dependent. Blacks spend nearly 30% of their lives on welfare compared to 6% of their white counterparts. So why are blacks more dependent on government assistance?
Black people don't have the consciousness of running their own lives. They have been dependent so long. And again, it's handed down from generation to generation.
Considering the foundation of civilizations was formed in Egypt, how did blacks lose those independent principles? Is the dependency the result of slavery?
To understand, African American people, we have to always have to put our situation in historical context. So the first issue is that African American people started out with a great disadvantage in this society, in that we were brought here not only in chains as slaves, but forced to put all of our energy, our time, spirit, ingenuity into slavery, working for someone else.
Relying on help to survive is nothing new. Needy families have been depending on the government since the 1930s. Previous welfare program AFDC, Aid to Families with Dependent Children, was replaced with Temporary Assistance to Needy Families, more commonly known as TANF. TANF's goals are to promote employment, two-parent families, and reduce dependency.
So keep away from it, Mr. Welfare.
Even families on welfare want to get off welfare.
Hall has been dependent on the welfare system for nearly 20 years, and two of her children who receive SSI are already continuing the cycle, becoming second-generation welfare recipients. Knowing a job would better her situation, she says she's stuck in between a rock and a hard place.
It's kind of been hard getting another job, and being now that my smaller kids are home and not in daycare. I kind of much being a home mom.
Census data from a 2003 report showed that African American women are more likely to live in poverty than white women. Hall says that the thought of living below the poverty line is dreadful, but giving up on her children is never an option.
I'd rather stick it out no matter how hard it gets and be there for my kids and giving them up, because I laid down to do my dirt and I got to deal with the consequences.
Unlike Good, Hall does not receive cash or housing assistance for her family. She says she tries to live without turning to the government.
I try not to rely on the system. I try not to rely on asking anybody for anything. I try to go out and motivate myself to get it on my own.
Hall struggles to overcome dependency. However, she says she knows having a large family forces her to rely on assistance and stay stuck in the cycle. But she says she has no regrets.
I don't get offended when people ask me about my kids and why I have so many kids, because I know my kids are blessings. And I know someday they may have to end up helping you while you wondering why they're here.
Hall says she constantly instills those same values in her children and tells them that a good education will prevent the mistakes she made.
It's very important that you grow up and be somebody. I mean, that's what I pray for. I ask God almost every day or every other day if, you know, He allowed me to live long enough to see my last child grow up, you know, be somebody, if not something, a little something, you know, and be able to take care of themselves.
Raising a family and barely making ends meet each month make her life stressful, and says sometimes she takes the stress out on her family.
I don't have times where I'm like, I've told my kids on several occasions, I think I might need to give y'all up because I can't do it.